Damn. Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy. Damn.
Yo, welcome to the dojo. It's your boy Kyle. I'm still your sensei for the day. Before we get started, make sure you leave me your offering by hitting that like and subscribe button. You feel me? Alright, so last episode we was on the phone with Queen Yue, the Succubus queen. She was being a jealous girl, but that's all good with us. Hey, this episode we exploring Astoria and just about to hang out. So without further ado, y'all know the drill. Sit back, relax, eat your snacks, grab you a honey bun and a Capri Sun, and let's get it. Wake up early the following morning to the sound of bird song fluttering in through the window, mingled with the distinctive striking of heel shoes against the wooden floor. Yawning, I crack both eyes open and sit up in bed.
Oh, yeah. Damn. Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy. Damn.
Damn, she fine. I am not alone in my room, as I surmise by the sounds of high heels. Stephania's maid, the one who greeted me at the airport, is busy sweeping up, a broom in one hand, though she still turns politely to greet me. Good morning, Mr. Ogasawara. I hope I did not disturb you while I was tidying. If I awoke you, I must apologize. You may return to your slumber if so desired. Oh no, it's fine. It's pretty late as it is. I glanced at my phone, which I left charging on the bedside table, and take a look. It's about 8:43. I guess it's not as late as I feared, but if I were back in Japan, I'd be panicking right about now. It's not uncommon for me to wake up at 6:30 so I can get ready, grab some breakfast, and take the train to work. I'm used to getting up way earlier than this. I had quite the lie-in, all things considered. Maybe so, but you did have a busy day yesterday. I hope you don't feel too weary from your flight. A little, I guess, but I'm getting some exercise and some fresh air. Oh, a little, I guess. But getting some exercise and some fresh air will be better than lying in bed. I think it'd be a shame to come here to this beautiful country only to waste my days indoors. I won't be here very long. I want to make the most of things while I can. Why, thank you. I am gratified to hear you say that. It is always nice to hear one praise one's own home country. The maid, what was her name again? I'm sure she told me. It smiles faintly. She's not a very expressive woman. Her pale face looks like the rest of her body to be carved from marble, but that smile, though small, serves to light up her eyes. Framed by one of the windows as she is, bathed in the early morning sunlight, she looks almost radiant. If it weren't for her black and white maid garb that she's attired in, I'd be tempted to mistake her for the princess. She's certainly regal enough. I do hope you enjoy your stay in Astoria, Mr. Ogasawara. As you said, it is very pleasant. It is a very pleasant country indeed. I myself am very fond of it. I can see why. I've not seen much of it yet, but it really does look like something out of a fairy tale. I only caught a glimpse of the streets yesterday on my journey to the palace, but the bits of Rosenberg I caught through the windows looked enticing. I only caught a glimpse of the streets yesterday on my journey to the palace, but the bits of Rosenberg I caught through the windows looked enticing. I think it'd be nice to go for a stroll through its charming streets alongside Hifumi or Marina or Hazel. Speaking of which, where Hazel at? Indeed I do. The maid, what's her name again? Nods her head in assent. Miss Williams has gone to the tennis courts to practice. Miss Yamamoto, meanwhile, is taking breakfast in the parlor with Milady, and Miss Wakatsuki has gone to attend a business meeting. I see. I nod. That's about as I expected, really. I'm not surprised by my companion's whereabouts, but I am a little surprised this maid is so very on top of things. Is it your job to know everything that's going on in the palace? Naturally. The maid nods and setting down her brush approaches my bedside. As Milady's #1 maid, I cannot let any detail, no matter how subtle, escape my attention. I must be fully abreast of all that is occurring so I might properly serve her. Part of being a maid is preempting Milady's wants, so I can satisfy her needs before she feels the need to voice her commands. I would so hate for her to waste her breath when she has so many matters of importance to attend. Is that so? I grin. You sound pretty devoted. Talk about being a super maid. Oh, I'm not so special, really. I simply try to remain focused and at any and all time for Milady's sake. One never knows, after all, when she might summon me. Does Her Highness rely on you a lot then? Indeed she does. I do not mind that though. I like being relied on. It is nice feeling useful, and it is not hard to work for Milady's sake either. She is a sweet, kind girl, and she always makes her appreciation well known. I am honored to serve her. Yeah, I get that. I didn't get along with my boss before, so I had no motivation to work. It was pretty cruddy. His attitude shifted recently though, and it's been more complimentary about my work. That makes me feel more inclined to put it out as ever. Indeed, one's efficiency in the workplace can often be attributed to superiors. Nobody likes to feel that their time is not being respected. The maid, is her name Elise? Eleanor? It was definitely something Western nod. Fortunately for me, I could ask for no better employer than milady. She truly is a credit to the royal family and to her kingdom. Her heart is of the gentlest, noblest sort. I have never met any woman like her. Wow, I whistle. She sounds pretty remarkable. I always imagined the nobility being stuck up and selfish. Let them eat cake, you know? But I guess Stephania is different. Indeed she is. She is a treasure, as I hope you will soon uncover. You should get to know her. Do you think I could? I frowned. The princess didn't invite me to the palace per se. That invitation was extended to Hifumi. I'm tagging along as her +1. Wouldn't it be a bit, I don't know, presumptuous for a commoner like me to try to speak to a princess? I do not think so. No. Milady is open to conversing with anybody from all walks of life, if only they remember their manners. You seem a polite young man, Mr. Ogasawara, so I doubt Milady will take umbrage with you. Well, thanks for the compliment. I'm not sure if I'm all that worthy of it though. My manners leave a lot to be desired. I can't be all that polite given I can't remember the maid's name, despite my attempts. But to be fair, I was pretty tired last night. It is a bit awkward though, conversing with a woman who knows my name while I can't remember hers. Is there a subtle way I can ask her about it without looking too rude? It is true your manner of speaking is unpolished, shall we say. Ouch. Is that a polite way of saying I talk like a thug? What are you trying to say, bruh? But I do not think there's anything wrong with it. It is quite amusing, in fact, to hear you speak so within the walls of the palace. It is rare for us to receive guests such as you, Mr. Ogasawara. I am sure the princess will find your company most intriguing. You think? I am certain of it. As affable as milady is, I am certain of it. As affable as milady is, it is rare she has a chance to make friends. Being a princess can be quite isolated. Oh, I can imagine that. Yue has a lot of duties to contend with herself as the queen of the Succubus realm. It's rare she's even afforded a chance to ever leave her domain. I bet Stephania's situation is similar. I wonder whether she's even allowed to leave the palace without an entourage of armed guards keeping her safe. Sounds stifling. I would be happy if you would make milady's acquaintance, as I am sure would she. I would not wish to impinge upon your schedule, but it would be nice if you could to her. Oh sure, I guess I'll head down to the parlor then. I glanced down at myself. I'm still wearing my pajamas and scratched my cheek. I should probably get dressed first though. Perhaps you should, yes. As charming as your nightwear is, it would behove you to freshen up. The maid smiles sardonically, then bows her head. I shall leave you to it then. Farewell for now, Mr. Ogasawara. And if you were in any doubt, the maid pauses by my bedside and looks to me from over her shoulder. My name is Elizabeth. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance once more. Huh? I look at the maid, sorry, Elizabeth, blankly. I was doing my best to hide my confusion about her name, but I guess I must have let it slip. Though how, I exactly don't know. Is this woman psychic? All of a sudden, her amber eye glaze is looking pretty intent. How'd you know I've forgotten your name? You think? Let's just say I had a feeling. Elizabeth laughed softly. I flatter myself. I have a talent when it comes to diving into the thoughts of men. Is that another one of your duties as the princess's top maid? I think she a succubus, I ain't gonna cap. She looked like one. She fine enough to be one. And judging by what she just said, it sounds an awful lot like it. Like, look. Oh no, these instincts of mine are quite divorced from my maidly duties. A maid though I may be, I am a woman too. Please do not forget it. I have desires of my own, and I am not afraid to act upon them. Nah, I low-key killed that. After dressing, Elizabeth leads me downstairs to the parlor where Stephania and Hifumi are waiting for me, both seated at a fancy-looking coffee table. Stephania is wearing the same regal blue gown she wore when greeting us at the airport yesterday, while Hifumi is, as always, in her kimono. Hifumi must be wearing contact lenses because she isn't wearing her thick-rimmed glasses. It's been quite a while, come to think of it, since I saw Hifumi in her spectacles. She looks more like a traditional Japanese beauty when she forgoes them. But I think Hifumi looks very charming in glasses too. It's kind of a waste. Hifumi greets me with a smile upon my entry and says while waving, "Hello dear, I hope you had a good night's rest." Oh yes, it was I began, but I'm promptly cut off by Stephania. Lizzie, what wonderful timing. I was talking through matters with my mistress and we both thought it would be nice if we can engage in yet another Karuta contest this morning. But alas, it is not possible for us to play on our own, not without a reader to recite the poems for us. We have both been waiting in eager anticipation of you so we might begin our game. Would you mind acting as our reciter for about an hour or so? Of course not. Nothing brings me more joy, milady, than aiding you. I would be more than happy to help. Wonderful. Beaming, Stephania claps her hands together. You're so reliable, Lizzie. I know I could depend on you. All right, mistress. Stephania looks back at Hifumi, her eyes blaming with determination. Let us get this show on the road. I cannot wait to challenge you again. You might have bested me during the championship finals, but I've been practicing every day since then. I'm willing to go all out. May the best woman win. Yes, indeed. I am looking forward to it. Win or lose, this should prove to be a lot of fun. Stephania and Hifumi relocate upon the floor where they begin prepping their makeshift area for their impromptu game of Karuta. I, meanwhile, watch them, feeling more and more like an interloper with every passing second. What am I even doing here? Elizabeth seemed pretty intent on getting me and Stephania on friendly terms, but Astoria's princess didn't so much as react when I entered the parlor. She's so fixated upon her rematch with Hifumi, she's not even paying me any attention at all. And how will I feel about this? Get that baby girl in the middle to console me later. That's how. Being blanked more or less by Stephania's smarts, but it isn't, I tell myself, the end of the world. I have a whole harem of succubi who be willing to give me attention should I ask for it. After Stephania and Hifumi have finished up, I should just ask Hifumi to let me use her lap as a pillow. That ought to cheer me up. I'm feeling better in fact just thinking about it. Sigh. Since when did I become so spoiled? The Karuta match between Stephania and Hifumi rages on for a good hour, but eventually Hifumi emerges as the uncontested victor. Hifumi's motions are so dexterous despite the trailing of sleeves on her kimono. She soon sweeps the proverbial board. She beats Stephania with a healthy 10-card lead, a fact which Stephania, rather than sobbing over, seems to derive no shortage of enjoyment. That was a good deal of fun, Stephania exclaims in the wake of her loss. Thank you so much for agreeing to play with me, mistress, though it's very early in the morning. I remember now why I thought to call you mistress in the first place. Truly, when it comes to Karuta, there's nobody more talented than you. Why, thank you very much. Hifumi giggles while cupping her cheek with one hand. I am glad our game proved edifying, though you've no need to call me mistress. Your social status is much higher than my own, given you are a genuine princess. I would be flattered if you could instead refer to me as Hifumi. Oh no, I would never dare to be so presumptuous. Not when your skill in Karuta far eclipses my own. I cannot even begin to countenance addressing you in such a familiar manner. Not while I still am but a lowly pupil. Perhaps if I'm ever able to play at a level akin to your own, I might regard you as an equal. But until then, I am so far beneath you, it does not even bear consideration. I will call you mistress, else I shall address you as nothing at all. That is the only fitting title a woman such as you deserves. My. Hifumi giggles once more, amused. I cannot say I am accustomed to being called mistress. It is quite curious. I wondered if this is how Marina often feels. True, being called mistress is way more of Marina's forte. You're more of a wifely type, Hifumi, or maybe a big sister type. I quite concur. If you could one day call me big sis, dear Stephania, my heart would overflow with happiness. But big sis? Perish the thought. I could never. But I see, at the present, that would not be advisable. Hifumi smiles somewhat forlornly. The mere prospect of calling Hifumi big sis has Stephania so worked up, her face is flooded crimson. She's stumbling over her words just like a reluctant pony with a broken leg. As friendly as Hifumi and Stephania seem to be, there's a real barrier between them. And surprisingly enough, said barrier isn't Stephania's lofty status as a princess. Rather, Stephania seems so very starstruck when it comes to Hifumi, she can only regard her as some sort of an exalted being. Knowing Hifumi as I do, I'm fully aware that Hifumi doesn't like being revered. She takes pleasure from doting upon others, and nothing makes her happier than performing household chores or preparing cups of green tea. All this verbal kowtowing courtesy of Stephania must be making her uncomfortable. Still, Hifumi bears with it as best as she can. Hifumi being conscious of other people's feelings isn't one pressing issue, not when it will always make the other party uncomfortable. She's very considerate. I think that's why I like her so much. That and her miso soup, which really is to die for. If you wish to address me as mistress, then I suppose you may. It is doing nobody no harm. I am still unaccustomed to being regarded thus, but I should ease into it in due course. Now, I take it you wish for me to school you even more intensely in the arts of Karuta? Oh yes, if you would care to play even more games with me, I would be overjoyed. I want to get even better at Karuta, and to do so, I must learn from the best. I am passionate about the game, so I should give it my all. In time, perhaps, even I will be able to stand against you, mistress, without embarrassing myself. Then, I shall no longer be your hapless pupil, but your worthy adversary. Oh, I will look forward to that. Hifumi bows her head while smiling serenely. I have faith in you, dear Stephania, and I will teach you all I know, until you, too, will become a fine challenger. Why, you are halfway there already. It was most impressive that you were able to challenge me in the finals of the National Karuta Championship. With just a touch more instruction, you could become a truly formidable foe indeed. While you mightn't be the best Karuta player in Japan, you are assuredly the best in Astoria. While I am certain that it is true, it's not so very impressive and accolade. Smiling shyly, Stephania begins to toy with her blonde hair. I believe I'm one of the only Karuta players in Astoria. The game is not at all well known here. To become a proper player, one must first be familiar with the Japanese language. That is quite the high barrier of entry already. Fortunately, I have been interested in Japan for many years and already had a firm knowledge of your native tongue before I commenced my training. Japanese is such a lovely lyrical language, and you can imagine my intrigue when I learned of Karuta. The game itself is a celebration of your poetic accomplishments. It is truly elegant. I wish more people in Astoria, no, across Europe in general, would grow to love Karuta as I have, but alas, Stephania shakes her head. It might be a bit of a difficult sell. Oh well, my love for the game is unassailable, and I am sure I will grow to love it all the more now that you are here to instruct me, mistress. I do hope so. Karuta is a lovely game. It is not so very popular in Japan either, but with foreign players such as yourself, it may begin to seize more worldwide recognition. If you can contribute to its increased popularity, I would be truly pleased. Then I had to do my very best. Stephania beams, her face aglow with happiness, but then, upon seeing me, her smile falters. Her fervor for Karuta spent, and she looks to me shyly and says, "Oh, but where are my manners? I forgot, you are also here, Mr. Ogasawara, and I doubt your fondness for Karuta runs as deep as my own. I apologize for talking at such a great length about a subject you may not find interesting. I was just so excited to play against my mistress again, I forgot myself. I have a bad habit of doing that. I tend to get carried away at the smallest of provocations." Stephania clears her throat, then resting her hand upon her chest, says, "Let me introduce myself to you anew. My name is Stephania Sophia Maria Isabella of Astoria. I am the Crown Princess of Astoria, and I am in my 21st year. I love Japanese culture, Karuta in particular, and I have been studying your language since I was a small child. It is very pleasant to meet you. I hope you have had a good night's rest." "Oh yeah, it was wonderful. You don't need to worry about that on one score." I smile at Stephania in an attempt to reassure her. I can't remember the last time I had such a restful sleep. "Wonderful. I am most relieved. I would hate to be a poor hostess, particularly when it is at my behest that you came to Astoria with us. While you are residing in the palace, you may of course venture anywhere you like. No rooms are out of bounds, not even my own bedchamber. You may promenade in the garden, enjoy our library, or visit the stables if you so desire. You may also venture to Rosenberg if you wish to do some shopping and sightseeing. Just ask one of my chauffeurs, and just ask one of my chauffeurs, and they shall be only happy to escort you wherever it is you wish to go. As for my mistress, meanwhile," Stephania looks at Hifumi, "while I do not wish to deprive you of her company, I will in all likelihood be spending a lot of time with her honing my Karuta skills. I hope this does not cause you too much inconvenience." "Oh no, it's alright. I knew before I came here that you and Hifumi would be playing a lot of Karuta. I know how important this game is to you." Stephania has only made that blindingly obvious, and I wouldn't wish to pull you away from it. If Hifumi is otherwise engaged, I can always wander around on my own, or spend time with Marina and Hazel whenever they're free. Besides, it's not like you'll be eating up all of Hifumi's time. We should still be able to snatch a few hours together, if presuming you want to spend time together, Hifumi. But of course, you are my darling Hiroki after all. As much as I enjoy Karuta, no other occupation makes me happier than being by your side. I know the pair of you have a special relationship, so you needn't worry about that. I am not so very thoughtless that I would keep mistress to myself all throughout her entire trip. Given you are both on holiday, you ought to enjoy yourself. I would hate to keep you away from your fiancé too long, mistress." "Fiancé? Hey Hifumi, you didn't..." I begin, but Hifumi soon cuts me off. She shifts closer to me, winding her arm through mine and laughingly says, "Why thank you, you are most considerate." But of course, as a princess, consideration is one of my middle names. At least, it would be if I didn't have so many middle names already. Adding an extra might be a bit too much to keep track of. Honestly, I have so many names, I forget them even myself. I can't say I'm displeased about this arrangement, but I'm beginning to feel somewhat perturbed. Since when was I Hifumi's fiancé? This is certainly the first I've ever heard of it. Despite appearing so demure, Hifumi can be awfully aggressive when she wants. Perhaps mistress wouldn't be too ill-fitting of a title for her after all. Hifumi and Stephania have another Karuta match following their first, which again Hifumi wins with ease. Impressed by her mistress's peerless skill, Stephania thanks Hifumi anew for her instruction, then permits her to take a break. "I would not wish to push you too hard, and it is quite a lovely day for January. It isn't overly cold and the sun is shining. You should seek to enjoy yourselves while you can. Only a selfish woman will want to part such a happy couple as you." That's what Stephania says, and who am I to disagree with her? I've not gotten too good of a look at the palace or the gardens yet, given the sun had already set when I arrived there yesterday. I think it'd be interesting to see the palace during the morning, and I have a few words I'd like to exchange with Hifumi. Yo, if y'all made it to the end of this one, bruh, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, you feel me? Hey, content coming out quick. I hope you love it. Hey, that's all I gotta say this time. I'm gonna get up out here so I can get the next video done. So without further ado, I bid you adieu. See y'all later.